Hi all, welcome to the Caseverse, your one-stop solution to case-based learning. In this video, I shall be sharing with you some interesting facts and statistics about those case-centric schools which take the case-based learning or case study as a primary teaching instrument, and they take it pretty seriously. Of course, the first in such a list of schools, no prizes for guessing, Harvard Business School, which claims to be running more than 500 cases throughout the program of management and MBA, which means that the professors occupy anywhere little over 80% of their classroom running time in discussing a case study. That's a kind of seriousness that some of the schools of this league, namely Insead, Darden, Ivy, emphasize on the case-based learning. Why do they do that? Why are they obsessive, or is it what is the reason behind? So, as shared in the previous videos, case study is not just about discussing a story or concepts through a story, but every case that you present to your students, it is actually presenting before them a scenario that reflects either a dilemma or a decision pending or a case of failure or a case of crisis or a situation of change that an organization is passing through. And the facilitators, through the conceptual discussion, through the various ice-breaking methods, they make sure that they ensure that the students are plugged into the situation. They make sure that the students wear the hat of a decision maker, a leader or a manager in that situation, and they push him or her into a corner where they are compelled to make a rational decision, which is what we have to groom them for. By the end of the program, when they take up the jobs, one common thing across the organizations, across the contexts, across the world, one common thing that all these aspiring managers, as practicing managers, would be doing is make decisions. Are they ready to make decisions or not? Do they have those prerequisite skills to make a decision along with the conceptual understanding or not? Do they have those three quintessential components of making it before they make a decision? That is critical thinking through the scenario, analytical reasoning of the various the facts in the scenario, and strategic visioning of the scenario, and combining the three capabilities, culminating into a rational decision that promises the best results for an aspect of an organization. That is what these organizations are. Organizations like Harvard, Insead, Darden, etc., are very seriously engaged in, which is what makes them so serious about taking up a case as a primary and the only teaching tool that can put the students in the real world business scenario is a case study, right? And that too cost effective way. You are just allowing the students to make decisions at no economic cost. You are engendering the essential competencies of critical thinking, analytical reasoning, and strategic visioning, strategic thinking, with the help of a case study. This is what it means when you are driving a case discussion in the classroom. It's not just about telling a story and running a concept and wrapping it up. So when you're running 500 case studies through a program, which means you are presenting before them 500 diverse scenarios across the domains, across the contexts, across the situations, across the verticals, and you're prompting them to take as many decisions. You're prompting them to exercise the essential prerequisite skills for decision making as many times. But are the schools around the world so serious, or are they sensitized towards the seriousness of what a case does, to what a case what is the potential that a teaching case study has is carrying and what can it do, what best it can do to the student. Now, if we are engaged as a business school, if we are, which is the case with, unfortunately, with the majority of the schools, if we are engaged in just discussing the academic concepts through the PowerPoint presentations and calling it a completion of the syllabus, then it's a major disservice that we are doing to the students. Let's agree unequivocally that in this age where we are overloaded with the information on digitally or in libraries, or the access to information is absolutely unlimited. With the advent of AI, the access to information is only augmented even further. So let's not pretend to be, as teachers, let's not pretend to be the only carriers of information or academic knowledge that the students would be needing. They have multiple sources of access to the information. What we can do, what we are supposed to do as facilitators, more than the carriers of information, as facilitators, we have to make sure that our discussion in the class is taking our student an inch closer to employability. And what makes a student employability? Not the bookish knowledge, not the conceptual rote memorization, but whether with the help of the conceptual knowledge, if the student is put to a situation, are they able to exercise the mental faculty, the thinking skill set through critical thinking, strategic thinking, and analytical reasoning, and are they in a position to take a decision, which makes the teaching case studies an inevitable tool of teaching in the schools of business studies. So I hope that so what is a major challenge that most of the schools suffer? What is preventing the schools from adopting? One, of course, the access to the repositories, the global repositories of the case studies, which the institutes must proactively subscribe to. The organizations like the Case Center, United Kingdom, or the Case Research Center, ICFI Business School, India, and there are many repositories of Darden, Insead, Harvard. There are thousands of cases on global repositories. The business schools should proactively reach out to these repositories and subscribe the relevant cases that fit appropriately into the concepts. And second, and even bigger a challenge that most of the schools suffer from, is the skill to drive a case as a teaching tool among the faculty. The lack of skill, lack of training, lack of exposure to case-based learning among the business school faculty is a major challenge that most of the business schools suffer from. And hence, here, considering the seriousness, considering the need, inevitable need for the schools to look into case-based learning, I feel the B schools, the management institutions, should actively invest in training, in getting the faculty trained and seasoned in handling a case, facilitating a case-based learning, and ensuring that they are able to transfer the employability skill, engender the employability skills. They are able to activate the managerial skills of critical thinking, analytical reasoning towards effective decision making by driving case studies, case-based discussions in the classroom. We are not going to groom the future managers by just driving academic concepts and calling it a session. We have to ensure that they are employment ready. They are groomed into a thinking mind, a rational decision making mind, which is only possible through a case-centric approach to the business management programs. I hope that a video was helpful. I hope I could make a point in driving the seriousness about a case study as a quintessential teaching tool for the business studies, business programs. I'll be back soon with another video with more insights. Until then, thank you all.